Hello and welcome to The Kids Who Built America. America focused on expanding from east to west, but now with the frontier closed, they look to the north and south for more land.
America, in the years after the Civil War, stayed out of world economics and politics, all the while working on rebuilding from the Civil War. When America re-emerged in the 20th century, it was an empire and a world power.
I began to look for markets beyond American soil to sell my products, which I am now producing at a faster rate due to new inventions.
And I also began to look for new overseas markets because my product was already all over the US. It was time for other countries to have access to it.
With America emerging as a world power, they began to set their sights on countries or lands they would like to annex. The first of several lands they choose is Hawaii.
Let us have this treaty. America shall have priceless naval base rights at Pearl Harbor.
Wonderful doing business with you, Your Majesty.
However, America wanted to own Hawaii, not have a treaty, especially after sugar markets went sour due to the McKinley tariff creating barriers around the Hawaii product.
You Americans shall not take my country.
A treaty was drafted once Queen Liliuokalani was overthrown, but the presidential seat changed and Grover didn't sign the annexation. However, in 1898, Hawaii was annexed and it became a state in 1959. In addition, American Secretary of State William Seward purchased Alaska in 1867 from Russia. It turned out that this land was rich in oil and timber and was profitable to America.
With America's new power, they often found themselves on the brink of war over petty reasons. This led to the Spanish-American War. This was fueled by yellow journalism, the explosion of the battleship Maine, and the Spanish representative Dupuy de Lome insulting the president in a letter that got published.
Let's write and make it seem like the Cubans blew up the Maine.
Great idea! Let's also write about De Lome's letter insulting the president.
Let's get this public riled up.
Yeah!
The public was desperate to go to war. The yellow press was galvanizing them into action.
War! 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 Let's kill those damn Cubans! War! War!
During the war, General Dewey attacked the Philippines on orders from Theodore Roosevelt. He is successful and captures the city of Manila with the help of Emilio Aguinaldo. Soon after, the Rough Riders, a group formed by Theodore Roosevelt, captured Kettle Hill by the city of El Caney, leading to victory over the Spanish fleet. The war ended with a treaty on August 12, 1898.
Are we agreed?
Si, senor. The armistice is signed. We shall free Cuba and sign over the countries of Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines to your power.
After acquiring Puerto Rico, Americans allowed them to have a limited government. They also granted them American citizenship. But the government was having trouble deciding whether the flag outruns the Constitution.
Are they under our Constitution or not?
No, they are citizens, but they do not have all the rights. The insular cases have decided this.
While all of this was occurring, America had set up a temporary military government in Cuba, led by General Leonard Wood. He turned Cuba into a strong economic country. However, in 1898, he and his men were forced to leave due to the Teller Amendment. To keep some control in Cuba, the Platt Amendment was created.
In the terms of this treaty, you cannot conclude treaties that may compromise your independence.
But
You cannot take debts beyond your resources.
you are controlling.
The U.S. can intervene with troops whenever.
This is ridiculous.
And you must lease or sell coaling or naval stations to U.S. Thank you for your time.
While America was dealing with Puerto Rico and Cuba, President McKinley didn't know what to do about the Philippines. The Filipinos expected the same freedom as Cuba, but they didn't get that.
My name is William H. Taft. I am your new civil governor.
We want freedom.
Our goal is to assimilate you into American society. We will start by getting you involved in the sugar trade.
No, we hate you. Let us be free.
The Filipinos finally got their freedom on July 4th in 1946. Many ended up moving to the United States anyways.
We're free! We're free! We're free!
In the meantime, in Asia, the Chinese were angry and believed that the West was using them as a doormat. The Chinese Boxers started the Boxer Rebellion, which led to the murder of more than 200 foreigners and thousands of Christian Chinese. A group of 18,000 soldiers quelled the rebellion. $24.5 million was given to America for the rebellion. They used $18 million of this for money to fund Chinese Americans. Several years later, China was incorporated into the Nine-Power Treaty in 1922.
One man who took charge during this time period was Theodore Roosevelt. He was the man who gave the order for the attack on the Philippines. However, he was a difficult man to manage.
Bang, bang into the room, you know we got it.
With McKinley's assassination, I will assume the role as president.
Bang, bang, bang!
Roosevelt also formed the Rough Riders, which we spoke about earlier in the video. After stepping into the presidency, he decided it would be a good idea to build the Panama Canal. He was given permission to do so with the High Ponceforte Treaty. However, prices to build the canal went high, and the rebellion of 1903 occurred. Roosevelt then made Panama the location for the canal and began work. He got so involved in Panama that it ruined America's relationships with Latin America. This led Roosevelt to add the Roosevelt Corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, which essentially has strangled the Latinos. Lastly, Roosevelt helped bring peace to warring countries.
Lamps and tornadoes and apple juice and pancakes
You two need to lay down your arms and stop fighting.
Our last topic for today is Woodrow Wilson. We would just like to say that he led our country during World War I and he no longer offered special support to American investors in Latin America or China. Thank you for watching The Kids Who Built America. Freedom and knowledge for all!